For exercise 5-13, we're going to be doing this one the same way we've been doing the orthographic projection. I'm going to go to New, and I'm going to select my template for metric. And in this one, there's going to be a lot of projection between the views, so I'm just going to start by laying out the location for the views. So we'll draw our first rectangle at 50 by 51, and then 25 millimeters off of there, I will draw a line that is 60 long, and from that midpoint I'm going to draw a line straight up so that I can lay out the triangular shape of this view. For my top view, I'm going to come off of here 25, and then this is going to be 50 by 60. Now with this information I can go ahead and lay out pretty much everything in each of the views. So we're going to start just by drawing a circle with a radius of 18 here, and then I can trim out the parts of it that I do not need. I can then go to my line command, and this cutout is 20 up, so we'll start it at 20 up. It comes in a total distance of 8, and it goes up 10, and it's going to come back out here to the end, and then I can trim out that little piece. I'm going to go ahead and mirror this cut feature to the other side, and then trim out the opposite side. Now the cutout in the top starts 15 over from the side, so we'll start at 15 over, and it goes 22 deep, and it is 20 across, and then it comes right back up here to the top. So now I can trim this out. I need to project this line here over and this line here over, which gives me the visible lines in my right side view. Now the top view, this is where things are going to get a little bit more complicated. I'm going to need to draw a miter line. But before I draw the miter line, it looks like I got the endpoints of these two lines in the wrong location, so I'm going to adjust those to where they're supposed to be. I was using a tracking setting instead of the dimensions. So with that being said, I now need to extend these lines to meet up with those edges. Sometimes a simple mistake can cause a bunch of different problems downstream. So I'm just extending these lines so that everything lines up nice and neat in the end. So just double checking to make sure all of that is in place. And now I'm going to draw my miter line, which I'm going to start at the lowermost point of the top view and the leftmost point of the right view. And it's just a 45-degree line that is long enough to encompass all of the drawing. So at this point I can begin to start transferring some of the lines. And I'm going to do this kind of feature by feature so that I don't lose any of the information. So we'll just start with this top cutout, and I'm going to draw some construction lines that go all the way up. And that top cutout, I'm going to need to transfer a hidden line over here to get that in place. So we're going to draw a line that's projected from here, and taking a note that it's the lower line right here so that I know which line I need to make hidden. So there's our hidden line, and then I can take and project up to here and then straight across this way. And we'll do the same thing with the other side of this line. Now those four lines that I have make up the triangle or the square that's going to exist in the top view. So we'll go to trim, select these as my cutting edges, and then I can get rid of all of the construction lines for that particular feature. Now keeping in mind that this is a triangle, there are going to be some lines that come from here over, just as a reference for where those go. Now I'm going to go ahead and include my other hidden line in here now, and again it's going to be the lower line that I need to make hidden because I'm going to need to project that up to the top view as well. Everything else in the top view is going to be done using basically projecting stuff from the right side view and the front view. So we're going to do this in such a way that we can save ourselves a little bit of time. So I'm going to project this line here up, and then we'll take this line up to here, and then we'll take this line up to here, and this represents the visible face. If we were looking down at the top, it's the visible face of this edge. So I can go ahead and trim using these lines and get rid of the reference geometry for that particular rectangle. Now this feature here I can mirror to the other side, and then I can mirror it again to the back side. So here we can see the tops of those cutouts. Now there is a line that connects these two because those holes go all the way, or those grooves go all the way through, as we can see in this view and in the picture. So I need to take those two lines there and make them hidden lines. Okay, so now we have the top cutout feature in place, we've got this cutout feature in place, and we've got this cutout feature in place. The only thing that's left to do is this elliptical, or this circular feature, which is going to appear as ellipse up in the top view. So I'm going to transfer this line and this line, and then I'm going to project the cut, or the top of it, over this way. So now I can draw an ellipse starting at this point, ending at this point, and then going to this intersection right here. Once I have that in place, I can kind of erase all the construction geometry for that particular feature and then just trim out the parts that I no longer need. That will then get mirrored to the other side. And then since it goes all the way through, I need to draw the lines that would go all the way through, representing the bottom edges of those. And these two lines are also hidden lines. So here we can see the front view actually has no hidden lines for this particular exercise. The top view has the hidden lines for this groove and this groove, in addition to the circular cutout. And then it's got the flat spot representing the top of this cutout. And then we've got the two hidden lines in our right side view representing the bottom of this cutout and the top of the circular cutout. So in this particular exercise, we were able to project almost all the information that we needed for the top view from the front and right side views.